This is going to be a very rambly video, as I'm just writing thoughts that come off the top of my head, and I just want to write this and be able to share my thoughts with you, the audience, or whoever wants to listen to me. That's just exactly what it'll be, mind you. It's just going to be a thought piece. I'm going to be a little lax on sources and objective facts. I just want to offer up some off-the-head thoughts about what I feel is a really important issue. To get straight to the point, I really want to just talk about something that I feel that we've lost sight of in the current market of media creation. How games are made by people. Like real people. We see the names on the credit screen, and I know, right? Like, it's a mind-blowing realization that there are real people behind the names that you see on the game's credits. But oftentimes, I feel like the significance of that realization is lost. Most of the time when I hear about someone's name in the industry being mentioned, it's for a quote about a confirmation of rumors and or depth about details for an upcoming game or a game that's recently been released. And it's important to keep those interactions with the devs consistent and keep those names personalized to people. But I feel that unless they're a celebrity dev like Hideo Kojima, or the person's name is synonymous with the franchise that we're talking about, their names are usually dropped and we're left with just the details that they give us. And if we're lucky, we might get the title of, how they're involved with the game's development as well. One of the most powerful series of videos that I love to watch on YouTube is the series Who Made This by Codex Entry. I love his videos, and they're incredibly informative pieces about certain developers in a biographical sense, going over who the developer is, what inspired them to make games, and what games they made along the way, along with why they made those games. For those interested in seeing these videos along with the rest of his content, I'll leave a link in the video description below. I highly recommend that you go and check these videos out. He's got an amazing channel. Another video that is very powerful and does exactly what I think is good for us is Did You Know Gaming's tribute to Satoru Iwata. I respect First for so much of the work that he did in making Iwata as much of a person as possible, as well as honoring him for the legend he became in video games. And we all know that it's rarely only one person involved with the creation of a game. Outside of indie hits, it never happens nowadays. Games are too big for that, and we see 200 names scrolling on our screens, and the most we'll pay attention to is the first one of that, if any. I'm not expecting for people to become intimately familiar with every person on a dev team, but I think that forgetting the people with the passion who are involved in every single step of the development process is dangerous for us as a community as we separate the art from the artist. Also, at the same time, I think it's very beneficial for us to keep the developers in mind while playing games. A person who loves music wrote that soundtrack. The voice actress probably took multiple takes to get that line. The coders and debuggers probably spent months and weeks trying to find and fix every bug in this game. Thoughts like these are important to keep in mind while playing video games, so it can keep us grounded while we're analyzing an experience. And it gives us context to be able to criticize in a more focused way, knowing that there was a creative process behind everything that you liked and didn't like in a video game. And there's probably a reason behind that in the development process, because there's a person behind it who made those decisions. Just for a second, I really want to point out that one of the most enjoyable parts in making my Phantasy Star video. Part 2 is on the way, I swear to God. Was researching the development team behind its creation, and along with the history of how the game came to be. I really wanted to put together this list of names to strike a balance of succinct and thorough explanation as I could to honor the people who put this game together, and to give context for their previous accomplishments and what they would go on to do. These people either got their start or took the next step in their development career with this game, and they deserve to be honored for their work, at least in my analysis. The context and the development of any media is important to remember, because games are not developed in a vacuum. This is why there are so many documentaries about the creation or behind the scenes of movies or albums or video games. The situations and limitations and experiences and inspirations of all the people involved in the creation of that media all influence the final product. And thus, in order to understand why a game or a movie is the way that it is, it's important to keep the context of its development, and especially the people behind it, in mind. That's imperative when critically analyzing it, because any question that you have as to why something is the way that it is probably answered by the person behind it, or the context for its creation. Thank you, as always, for listening. This was very rambly and hastily put together, but I really wanted to share these thoughts with you about this just phenomena of dispersonalization or depersonalization in media that I've started to see more of. But hey, maybe I'm just seeing things that aren't there, and people really do care about this stuff. I don't know. Please, if you care to, leave a comment about your thoughts on game development. Maybe even try looking up the people responsible for some of your favorite games. You might be surprised to see what else they were involved with. As I said earlier, thanks for listening. Just as a quick outro, check out the podcast. We are releasing episode 8, should be releasing episode 8 soon enough. And it's gonna be good. Talking about a game of the year, I think, is that episode. And please check out Codex Entry and check out that Did You Know Gaming video if you haven't seen them. They're very powerful and way better put together than anything that I can do right now, especially. Though someday I do hope to get up to their level. And again, thanks for watching.